We're live.
In the club, we'll do it tonight, yeah. From the back to the left to the right, yeah. All them girls looking hot, looking tight, yeah. Come on and move from the wall to the light, yeah. I don't know, maybe you didn't hurt me. Gonna lose it tonight, yeah, no mercy. We're gonna turn it up crazy. We're gonna turn it up, ooh. Let me see your hand, let me see your hands. Let me see your hand, let me see your hands. Let me see your hand, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. We gonna run like a dance, no care. Popping bottles, you know how we do.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. I'm Tiffany.
Of course, I'm wrong.
And we are not at full staff today. Tiara and Luanda are out. But we're here trying to hold it down. And we're here to discuss Insecure, episode 8, Choices Okay.
Yeah, so and we're a little insecure today ourselves for such a skeleton crew. But
Right.
We're gonna do what we do.
Exactly. I thought this episode was interesting because it was hard to tell like what was real and what was a dream. It was like a long dream sequence.
Yeah, and I had to kind of wake myself up from that dream because it was a little confusing. At points I knew she must be dreaming because it just happened so fast. But and I don't know if I care too much for the dream sequence, but I can tell you that mirror sequence that she does,
It's hilarious.
She needs to take that on the road because I'm telling you right now, that is hilarious. I love it. But the dream sequences just kept messing with me. And it was also taking away from the real issue. And the real issue is Issa, Nathan, and Lawrence. And as we saw, how this episode played out, Issa isn't ready to commit to anybody. And, now she has her business that seems like it can take off. And we still have Lawrence and Nathan issues. So what's happening here? What is she going to
do? Like you said, it's unsettled. It's like everything is unsettled. It seemed like the business she's glowing up because she was talking about the coins in the bank, at least when she was having her banter with Mirror Issa, So the dream sequences looked like she was flying in first class, and she also had some insecurity about whether she should work with Crenshaw again, too. Because in her mind, in those dream sequences, Crenshaw was the man.
Right.
Like she was on a first class flight with Ty Dolla $ign and stuff, and Ty Dolla $ign was bigging Crenshaw up. Like, he was the man. So, she is in a crossroads in her life with not just the relationship with Nathan, but also the crossroads with the business.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder too, when you are that mixed up, can that relationship, that personal side, affect the business side? Now we know typically, you don't mix business with pleasure, but she's really at a crossroads with this relationship of hers. And I think that if she doesn't get a hold of it, and we got a glimpse or a taste of that toward the end, because Molly dropped some gems, for her, but it is really beginning to affect her business side as well. So she's going to have to do something. And in my opinion, it's probably better that she goes solo until she can work out this, get her business where she wants it to go. And then she can do whatever it is she wants to do as far as relationship goes.
And Kelly Jordan is here. Hi, Kelly. I'm reading her comments. She said Issa also asked Molly, would she be a sellout for going with Crenshaw with the business? Yeah.
No. But that's again, the fact that she has to ask, and Molly said something that I thought was quite poignant. She said, you in your heart know already what needs to be done. So you need to go ahead and make that move. And you can't worry about whether that's going to be the best move or the worst move. you need to do something. You need to get up and make that move and work that. Sitting back asking Molly isn't going to do anything for her.
Well,
Although
sometimes,
Molly did give her some good advice.
sometimes you may know what you want to do, but sometimes you need to hear it out loud,
Yeah.
for somebody else to say it. And I think she was really conflicted because, Crenshaw threw her under the bus. First off, he talked terribly about her business on social media. But on the other hand, Issa doesn't want to miss an opportunity because it looks like he's getting ready to blow up and stuff. And she's like, well, what if I'm, pride of not wanting to work with him again prevents me from, blowing up too and working with him.
And from a business perspective, I can understand where she's coming from. But I think what should have happened, or what should happen from here, is that first episode with Krishan should have taught her enough to know, well, this next time, what I'll do is my contract's going to be a little more, on point as to what I expect from him, what he expects from me. And I think he's a little loose now, but too, because he already knows that Issa can do the job. So I think the relationship can grow from here if you just, let bygones be bygones, put aside that first episode, that first event with each other, and move forward, because they both can bring something that's going to benefit them both.
I think so, and benefit the community.
And exactly.
More importantly, because that's the common thread there.
Right. I agree.
Another interesting thing is that Nathan talked about wanting to move in with Issa. And she said, let's think about it. I think it's a mistake.
It's a big
I like Nathan, but she ain't ready to move in with him.
And to lead him on, this is the part about Issa that I see from episode to episode with Nathan is really getting under my skin. She keeps leading him on. Maybe not purposely, but she needs to really have a sit down with Nathan and let him know what is inside of her. She may lose him, but it's better to do that than to build this man up the way she's doing and break his heart, because that's the next level that can happen here.
Well, I think she thinks she's doing the right thing. Like, he told her she loves him. She told him she loves him.
But she doesn't.
I think Kelly Jordan says don't move in. I agree. They should not move in together. She may love him. I'm not sure that she's in love with him. She kept thinking about Lawrence. She kept seeing Lawrence in his dream sequences. I mean, Nathan was a constant in the dream sequences, but at the same time, it was a plot twist with Lawrence in one of them. And I was like, oh Lord, when you're thinking about somebody that much, you have unresolved feelings.
Yes.
And that is not that you should not be moving in or anything with somebody if you still have unfinished business.
Exactly. In fact, she shouldn't even be at this relationship point with Nathan.
No, I feel bad for him, because I feel like he already has mental health issues. So I feel like he's kind of fragile. And if this doesn't work out, and if she breaks up with him, I feel like this could be really damaging for him.
Yeah, and whether the issues he has, will play a part in it, I don't know, but I do know what a broken heart feels like. And and the older we get, it's not always easy to come back from that. So Issa has to really take that in consideration when she's dealing with Nathan, because she's not ready for what Nathan is willing to offer. And it's really just not simple.
I'm laughing because, when I watch Insecure, I live tweet. And somebody said about Nathan, I'm feeling like he's trying to move in because he can't afford it. Like, he need a place to stay vibes. They were saying that. And I think they said that because Nathan made a comment about how it would save money
Well, he did.
if they moved in together. So I think it gave some of the viewers, at least some of the folks on Twitter, they were like, "Oh, he trying to move in, he trying to
That's a little sarcastic.
they clocking his pockets, and they don't think that they can afford."
Well, it's again, I think Nathan is looking much farther along down the road than where Issa is. You move in, you save money, you get married, and I think this is where Nathan's hit is. He's looking at this union.
He's looking at a future. That's what people do. When they're planning a future, they talk about moving in, combining finances, all that stuff. That's what she wanted from him.
Well, and it's the only funny part of it to me is Nathan is acting like the female and Issa's acting like the male, because usually this whole scenario is the other way around. The woman wanting to do all that, and the man is like, oh, I don't know, not ready for it. But whatever it is, Issa.
Yeah, he's being vulnerable. He's opening himself up. This is what she wanted from him, and now he's giving it to her, and she's thinking about Lawrence. I'm like, I think she's gonna break his heart. And I'm reading some of these comments. Someone said it was good seeing Nathan and his cousin reconnect. I was happy to see that too.
Me too.
And it said Nathan's into Issa more than she is into him. Yeah, I think so. And he's been into her. Yeah. For a long time. It was Issa that crushed him last time.
Yeah.
And everything.
I agree.
The only thing that Nathan did was he did ghost her before, and now we know why, because he had the mental health condition and stuff. And ever since then, I don't know. Issa, I said this before, Issa can be like indecisive, inconsistent. Inconsistent is the word he used last week, and that's a good word for her. She sent him mixed signals and stuff, and I don't think she's gonna end up with him.
But it's also a little selfish.
One of our viewers said that.
Yeah, it is, because she's only thinking about herself. And to be perfectly honest, Issa has to be honest with the idea that, well, not with the idea, but with the concept that Nathan has a mental condition, and she needs to be honest with herself. Is that something she wants to deal with? Because right now you're not married, you're not in any situation like living together where you're bringing in your financials and mixing things up. She needs to understand this is a big step. And do I want to be with a person who has a mental condition? That's okay, because if you can't handle it, you need to leave this thing alone. And if you can, then you got to be honest with this guy. So, she's got some heavy lifting to do.
Definitely has some heavy lifting to do. And speaking of heavy lifting, we saw Molly doing heavy lifting with her parents.
Yeah.
With the estate planning, which is always tough to do anyway, and especially in our community.
Yes. And the Black
community. Nobody likes to have those tough conversations.
No. And financial planning is a dire necessity for us all. And really, you can't do it any, there's never a late time to do it. And what I'm trying to say is, no matter how old you are, you need to get your financial planning in order, because, you can stamp that death ticket at any point in time, at any age.
Anytime.
So understanding financial planning and understanding, I'm doing that now with my daughter, getting her health insurance and teaching her how to start investing in her 401k so that she can understand and build some sort of financial, health for her in the future. And, it's like pulling teeth, but she finally decided to sit down with her and, with myself and my wife, and sit down and make this thing real, because it's not real to them. We think when you're young that, you're immortal. You're not dying anytime soon. Death can happen very quickly. So financial planning is a very, very necessary tool. I'm glad to see her father took the bite, and even though he felt saddened by the fact that he worked 50 years and can't give his family any more than he can. But what he can give them is the satisfaction in knowing that when he dies, the
They're taken
family
care of.
is taken care of by what financial planning can do. So
Yeah, and I think it's it's sad. Remember Molly early in the season, Molly tried to have that conversation with them sooner, and it was only after the mother had the stroke that they were able to circle back and do it. But better
right,
late than never.
right,
I agree with him too that all these years that he worked. He said he worked, and somebody said it in the comments. He worked 50 years.
mhm,
And he felt sad that he didn't have more to give. But I think that's something, going back to our community, that I wish that was something that was taught in our schools, especially in our Black community, because we're not really taught about financial literacy and estate planning and all that stuff and everything. So when it comes time for us to have those conversations, I know, like, similar to you, you and your daughter had this conversation. I remember, years ago when my mother passed away, and I had to deal with a lot of that stuff. And so when I started talking to my own son about, okay, I need to tell you these things just in case something happens to me, because anything can happen. He was like, "Don't talk like that."
yeah,
and I know it's hard to have that conversation, but it was like, you just never know. And I was like, you want them to be prepared.
right. And even with health insurance, so we see that Molly's father said that he had to go into their 401k just to take care
With
of
the mom.
the
Yeah.
mom while she was in the hospital, and that begs on the issue of health insurance. So when we're dealing with financial planning, you also have to bring in that other element, which is health insurance. Having health insurance, and particularly you youth out there, you think you're invincible, but you're not. I'm telling you, you're just a paycheck away from destroying yourself because you can't afford health insurance. And in this country, it shouldn't be that way. Health insurance should be free, but it is what it is, and we need to get on this health trip and make sure that we get all we can from our employers, particularly when it comes down to health benefits.
Well, I'm so glad that Molly had a friend like Kelly
No,
that was in this line of work, that was able to, handle the situation for her parents and
right.
explain it to them so thoroughly. And Kelly is always a hoot
Yes.
to and stuff. So kudos to her as well for holding Molly's family down. And I felt Molly, like, when she left after talking to him, like the weight of it all, and how she cried and broke down and stuff. I really felt for her because being caregivers sometimes and stuff like that. That stuff, it does weigh on you. It's a lot.
I've had it many times in my life.
Yeah, I did too. So I felt her. I felt that, and I was just like, I was feeling Taurian, the coworker, because I was like, he was so understanding. He called to check on him. Do you still want to go out? And then she was honest, and I think that's good. That's growth for Molly, because I think old Molly would have probably still tried to go.
Yeah.
Just like she went to the retreat when her mom was in the hospital and stuff. But she took the time out to say, you know what? I'm really not feeling up to it because this, I just had to stay with my parents and stuff. And he was a good dude. He understood and stuff. And he did her a solid. He sent food and wine to the house. And I was like, a thoughtful brother. I was like, okay, I'm here for Taurian.
But look what happens when you communicate, because that's what was missing. When she decided to communicate with Tori about her mom, that really broke the egg, that shell, and opened the two of them. They open up to one another, because I think we've often said that they look like they could be a real nice couple.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's gelling into. They communicate well. She communicated to Tori about what was going on with her mom, and she just wasn't feeling up to that night. And look what he did. He went out and made it very special. He turned that whole thing around.
That was really thoughtful. I was like, okay, Taurian might be a keeper.
Hey.
Might be a keeper. And so before that happened, we saw that, you alluded to it, that Molly had the conversation with Issa.
Mhm.
you know, because Issa was waffling about whether she should do business with you know, the company or Crenshaw, and Molly gave her some sage advice.
Exactly. And and here again, Issa, you know, you have the tools to do well, to make it. You understand, you know, you have to make a decision. You have to be a decision maker. And
Mhm.
there's nothing worse than being in business and can't make decisions. This is decisions about your business, decisions about your personal life. You got to be a decision maker if you're going to successfully take place in the business world. You can't you can't be on the fence. You have to make a choice. And
You have to take risks. You have to take risks.
you know, a synonym for business should be risk, because
Mhm.
that's what you do. When the moment you open your doors, you've just invited risk all day long.
Oh, funny part during the dream sequence. How about the Tyra Banks part? Having the Issa Wood day.
Right.
I was like, she dreaming big. Now she needs to step into those dreams.
Step into it. You gotta imagine,
Step
you know,
into that purpose
imagine your dream, move forward. You know,
and walk in the purpose. That's what she
walk in the
needs to
purpose.
do.
Exactly.
I saw the previews for next week, and it looks like that it's going to be a party, the going away party for Derek and Tiffany.
Mhm.
And so this is going to bring everybody together. It's like Issa, Lawrence is going to be there and stuff, because you can see the in the previews that Lawrence was talking to Chad about not going to the party. And he said because Issa's going to be there.
Right.
And Chad was like, "You mean the one that you let go and you ain't fight for? That you know that you ain't." So he's so funny, you know. So that's something. And then they also showed a sidebar between Nathan and his boy. And Nathan was like, he's hesitant to go into the party because he was like, Issa's ex is in there, you know. So it's like it's gonna be awkward next week, and that's when we're gonna really see, because if Issa goes there with Nathan
Mhm.
and Lawrence is there, like, is he gonna bring Condola and the baby? Like, it's crunch time. Next week is episode 9,
I was gonna
and
say,
then we only have one more episode.
it's
So
it's grown folks time. And you know, I remember, you know, when you had a crew and you were young and you all did a lot of things together, and then you grew up
mhm,
and you all went your separate ways. This is what they're experiencing. You
mhm.
know, you'll get over this, but it is what it is. So go ahead, do your thing, have your fun, and deal with it, because that's
Well, I think this is gonna be the test at this party between Issa, Nathan, and Lawrence and stuff. Because this is gonna be the first time that she sees Lawrence as a couple with Nathan.
yeah.
So it's gonna hit home. Like
Issa doesn't need a test. Issa needs help. Um, I don't
somebody on
see
Twitter said that too. Said Issa needs help.
she needs help. I don't see.
I just don't know. I don't know, because I think how she behaves at this party with both of them should tell them a lot. Like, it should tell Nathan, like, if she's extremely awkward. Well, I mean, it should tell him if she's still into Lawrence.
Well, I think he
And with
knows.
Lawrence, he'll be able to tell, like, you know, we'll see what he gets from it too. Because if he sees her at the party with Nathan, will Lawrence come to the conclusion like, oh, okay, well, she's clearly moved on. Maybe I need to circle back with Condola.
Well, I think that's already happening, and also, yeah, he's going to have some feelings when he sees her. That's natural, but he has more to lose. So, you know,
Lawrence?
yeah, he has more to lose. Look,
Why? Because why?
he's got a child, and you know, he has Condola, he has a child. So let's say they get to the party, and Lawrence says, "Oh wow, look what I'm missing. You know, I want you back, Issa." He's got a lot to lose to go back to Issa, and Issa is still undecided, can't make decisions. So you want to go back to that? You might just stay where you are and cut your, you know, take that L and just
I
deal
know,
with
you know how I feel about settling. You know, she loves Nathan and stuff, and then Lawrence wants to be there for the child. I just don't agree that makes happy relationships. Like it might be comfortable, it may be safe, but
Look,
I don't want to be in a loveless, passionless.
and I don't think that they could have that. Look, this is my take on it. If I broke up with you, I broke up with you for a reason.
Mhm.
And
Well, she broke up with him.
Well, I'm just
She
saying.
wouldn't have broken up with Issa.
No. I'm saying whether you, okay, let's put it that way. If a woman breaks up with me, she broke up with me for a reason. And
because he was long distance. He
okay,
no longer is long distance.
Okay,
and he had a child.
But not only that, she had a thing about his, his ability to make money. She had a thing about
that was then. That was then. That was when they were together. When he went to San Francisco, that wasn't their issue. She recently broke up with him because she could no longer do the long distance, and because he had a child with someone else.
Okay, yeah, but my point is, I'm an alphabet soup type of guy. See, I'm going to remember everything. Okay, I'm not dropping anything, and the reason is because at one time it was a problem for you. So
that was before he got the job at Best Buy. That was season 1. This is season 5. He's grown up since then.
Move on, young man. Move on. Don't go back. Issa is not ready for anybody.
Well, I think you're right about that.
He can make a terrible mistake going back to Issa, and then Issa decides all of a sudden she wants Nathan.
I know she is acting real flaky because it's like you broke up with the man, and now you know he's back, and you pushed Nathan into saying I love you. He said I love you, and he talking about moving in with you. He even talking about, somebody said in the comment, going to Denver to visit, visit Tiffany with you and stuff. So he's trying to be ride or die, and you in your subconscious is still thinking about Lawrence. So it's like she may not be ready for anybody.
Look, let that fly on the wall wherever Lawrence is. I hope he gets in his ear and tell him to leave Issa alone.
Kelly Jordan says Lawrence should take his time making decisions too.
Yeah, okay.
Money Matters says, I think she loves Nathan, but I think she's just confused about her life in general. I think so too. I think she loves Nathan. I don't know that she loves him the way she loves Lawrence. And I don't know if it's because it's a comfort thing, because she has the history, because she was with Lawrence for 5 years.
Well, and that's how you do, and that's how you look. I always say there's a difference between loving someone and being in love with someone. Mm-hmm. And usually when you are in love with someone, you have history, you've built something. Mm-hmm. And that grew into something more than just physical love or more than just that abstract love. What I mean by that is, I may love the way you take care of your home. I may love the way you dress. I may love the way, you look physically, but that doesn't mean I'm in love with you to ride throughout life with. So
that's why I think she's in love with Lawrence.
She is in love with Lawrence. However, are you ready to break? Look, it's again, decision-making time. You either gonna let him know so that he can.
I hope so. Like, did anybody watch Harlem Commenters?
Yeah, I watch Harlem. I saw it.
Did you see the season finale?
Yes, I did.
And I was like, big up Megan Good. I know we talking about Insecure right now, but that man was engaged to somebody else, and he had let her know at another time that he still had feelings for her.
Right.
She knows them up. She was like, look, you tell me right now whether you love me. You said you love me. Do you love me? And she said, if you say no, then I'll go. But are you going to really marry somebody else knowing you still love me?
And what happened?
He told her he loved it. And I said, that's what you need to do.
But look at the spoil of it, though. Who saw that?
The fiance.
Exactly.
Yeah, the fiance.
He should have known Okay, we're talking about a whole different show. But
I
what
know,
it
but
really,
we talk about it because I think it's relevant because
no, it is
I
relevant.
think that Issa, she's so in her head, and I'm like, there need to be conversations that need to be
Yes,
had. Like
exactly.
Megan Good took her character took the bull by the horns and was like, listen, you can marry
Exactly.
somebody else, and you still got feelings for me. What we doing?
But that the his fiance could have been salvaged had he just was very truthful to her. Said, look, I can't marry you because I'm not done
Being
over
wrong.
here.
I think he was settling too. I
He
think
was settling.
he was settling too because Megan Good broke his heart last time. So he was just like, no, this is a short thing, and he was gonna go on about his business and stuff until like Megan made him stand up to that. And that's what I'm hoping for Issa. If she has any doubt about her and Nathan, and if she still loves Lawrence, I'm hoping that she step up and say something to him and like say, listen, I made a mistake when I broke up. I know we have a complicated situation here with the child, but I'm here for the long haul.
Yeah.
I want to, if Lawrence is who she wants, that's where I want to see her step up.
It's not going to happen.
You don't think she's going to step up?
No, it's not going to happen.
So basically she's going to ride off to the sunset by herself.
Looks like it to me.
Maybe, because she might end up getting dumped if she keep playing with Nathan.
She's going to wind up with nothing. And I think that's
she still have the business in her friendships.
Well, good luck with that. Maybe she and Crenshaw can hook up. I don't know.
He's pretty fine. Shout out to Kofi Cerebral. He's pretty fine. I wouldn't be mad at that either. Like, maybe she need a brand new start. Period.
Hey, work on it.
Yeah, I'm still hoping that we see Daniel before the end of the series.
Yeah, well,
it's a cameo, something.
Yeah. Yeah, dreams do come true in this.
I'm trying to read these comments too. But I think for the most part, though, I think we've touched on everything for this episode.
We
did and stuff. So do you have any predictions before we shut it down?
For episode 9, I think that Issa will come to a certain reality.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it's going to fare with Nathan, but I do believe that she's going to come to a reality about this relationship with she and Lawrence, and it's going to have an effect on her.
Yeah, I think so too. I think she's going to end up telling Nathan that they can't move in together. Because we're going to see, I think this party next week is going to be like the real test and probably the breaking point for the relationship.
I agree.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Kelly Jordan and Money Matters and Toddy. I can't pronounce your last name, but Toddy, thank you all for joining us. If you guys have any predictions, let us know in the comments too.
Yes.
And next week, Tiara and LaWanda will be back. We'll probably have some special guests too. But thank you for joining us and tuning in to our episode 8 Choices Okay recap. And please follow us on Facebook, IG, Twitter, TikTok. Click the notification bell so you can get notified on all our videos. We are also recapping Power Goes 2. Check those out. Check that recap out. And we'll have plenty more content for you.
And I'm not going to be ashamed to say it. Subscribe. It helps our channel.
Oh, absolutely. Please subscribe.
So
please subscribe.
Just give it.
Hit the like button.
Hit that like button. Subscribe. Hit the notification button. And let's do this.
Yes. So with all of that, thank you, Kelly. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week. We'll be at full lot next week. And you guys have a good week. Good evening.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Look at my neck bright, I get that check right. I'm so blessed, right? Off of that jet pipe, off of that side. I'm in that new coupe, my nigga, I been fired. I said what I said, right?